Hello everyone, welcome back to Season Cuisine. So for day 4 of my 12 Days of Christmas series, I am making some green bean casserole. And all I have to say is growing up being African, we never really eat stuff like this, but let me tell you, when I made this recipe, everyone loved it so much. They kept on raving about it. So I am sharing my recipe with you. So if you want to see how to make this delicious recipe, keep on watching. So for this recipe, I am making a cast iron green bean casserole. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, that is okay. You can just saute everything that is required for this recipe in a regular frying pan, and then later on we can transfer everything to a baking pan. But I just melted 4 tablespoons of salted butter. You can also use unsalted butter. That's what I wanted, but I didn't have any. But I am sauteing half a medium-sized onions that I chopped, and we're gonna cook this onions and saute it until it is fully transparent or until it gets a nice brown color. So you don't want your onions to burn. You want it to just have a nice color like that. And then we're gonna go in and add in our sliced mushrooms. So you can use any mushroom of your liking. I am using baby bella mushrooms, and I like to cut my mushrooms into big chunks because whenever you cook mushrooms, they tend to decrease in size. And I want to make sure that by the time I am done sauteing my mushrooms, they are still visible. I like to see them. And now I am adding some fresh crushed black pepper. As you can notice, I did not add any salt because I am using salted butter. So I'm going to wait until the end to taste the salt before I add more salt. And after 4 minutes of sauteing the mushrooms, I am just adding 4 crushed garlic, and I'm going to saute that for just 1 minute. You don't want it to burn. And once you're done sauteing everything, put it in a bowl or a plate and put it to the side. And now we're going to make our roux. So for our roux, again, I am adding 4 tablespoons of the salted butter that I am using. That's why I haven't added any salt to season my food yet. But just melt the butter. And for our roux, you can use cornstarch, or you can also use all-purpose flour. I am using all-purpose flour, and I am using 2 tablespoons of flour. And I am cooking my roux on medium fire. So do the same. And I am just gonna take a whisk and just whisk my roux continuously because I want my roux to be smooth, so you don't want any lumps. So make sure you remove all the lumps and keep on shaking it. And once our roux has thickened and has a beautiful, nice brown color, we're gonna go in and add some chicken broth. And I love adding chicken broth to almost any sauce, or even whenever I make couscous or anything, because it adds a lot of flavor. And once it thickens, I'm gonna go in and add some milk. So for the milk, I am using 1 1/2 cup of heavy milk or heavy cream, but you can also use half and half milk. I prefer using heavy cream because it is rich. It just adds more creaminess to the sauce and a lot of flavor. And once the sauce is done, we're just gonna go in and just add the mushrooms and the onions that we sauteed earlier. And after we mix all of that into the sauce, I'm gonna go in and do a taste test and add more black pepper and more salt to my sauce. So after you add your salt, you add your seasoning, you like it, put it to the side. But one thing I forgot earlier was to add some Worcestershire sauce. Do this process when you add your chicken stock. That's when you're supposed to add the sauce. I forgot, so I added it now, but I just added 1 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. So now let's make our green beans. So for our green beans, we're gonna boil it, and I just added 1 tablespoon of salt to the water so that my beans will have some flavor. And we're just gonna cook the beans boil it for about 6 to 8 minutes. We still want it to be crunchy, and once we're done boiling it, make sure you immediately put it into an ice bath so that it will stop cooking. And now just add your green beans to your cast iron skillet, or if you don't have a cast iron skillet, just find a baking dish and mix everything in there, and then we're gonna bake it. And once we're done cooking our green beans, we're just gonna top it off with French's onion. You can also make homemade fried onions, but this is way easier. Put it in the oven for 5 more minutes until it is nice, golden, and crispy. And that is it, guys. If you love this recipe and you want to see more of my 12 Days of Christmas series, make sure to hit the subscribe and notification button. I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much. Bye.